98.
And we are live tonight on the Center Table Podcast with my co-host Randy. We are going to be interviewing LEROY, the Machine Walker. Hopefully, I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
I hear some people saying LEROY, and I'm like, dude, you need an extra E for that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I get that a lot. That's a great. That's actually it's a love hate with that. I like it.
Yeah.
Until I don't. My close circle knows if I'm ever in a group setting or if I'm at an event like a signing or just like an expo, and if there's people around me they keep calling me LEROY, my immediate circle knows they are not in my immediate circle because my immediate circle knows to call me LEROY. So I'll meet someone and I'll kind of won't correct them. That way people in my circle kind of know who that person is without me saying anything.
Yeah.
That makes
funny.
sense.
It's like a test.
Yeah, I hear that all the time, and I'm like, it's not his name, but
Just like I have a foodie name. My foodie name, a lot of people don't know this fun fact, is Anthony. Anthony will call Domino's, Pizza Hut, make an online reservation, never has a problem booking a table. LEROY or LEROY, it's an hour wait. Oh, I'm sorry, your food didn't get delivered. So when it comes to eating out or ordering, restaurant or a reservation, Anthony is what I go by.
That's funny. That's crazy, man.
That is crazy. Well, yeah, thanks again for coming on, man. We appreciate it. We both met you at Knuckles Up 1. That was pretty cool to see you on that super match card. That was a really fun time, and it's been a long time since then. So if you could tell us kind of like, where you're at with arm wrestling right now, like how you've progressed and, things like that, if you could talk about that a bit.
Yeah, it's thank you guys for having me on. And
Yeah, man.
I think it's an interesting topic and a good segue to kind of where the promotional side of arm wrestling is out right now. I think prior to me, I want to say there was like, in my mind, this is how I look at it, the Larry Wheels kind of Brandon Allen kind of era, right? I would say before that, you had, if we're talking powerlifters, you had Spoto was there. Yep. You had the Mendelson, but social media, like neither one, and I love both those guys. They're great guys, by the way. Shout out to Eric Spoto and Scott Mendelson. Both were actually really good arm wrestlers. However, they weren't, I would say, too savvy on the social media side of it. So they probably didn't get the fact that they were world-renowned, both bench press specialists and really good arm wrestlers out there. But I think in my eyes, in my area, they're the kind of two that I kind of looked up to that kind of paved the way. And it got me thinking many years ago about what is my transitional legacy going to be? And then fast forward a couple years ago, I started to get out of powerlifting, get out of bench press. I kind of did everything I wanted to do in there. And then I took on strict curl. And then, of course, I kind of saw, people are like, well, there's this, Dennis Saplinkoff. There's these other people that came from the strict curl world with biceps, So to me, arm wrestling kind of felt right to transition to that after strict curl. And I'm tying it in with the social media thing. I think I was also one of those people that was fortunately, and I'm grateful to probably get on a super card matchup before the arm wrestling side of me caught up, because at the end of the day, promoters need to put views for the pay-per-view and asses in seats. So I get the business side of it. But I can say, looking back, and I see that rift right now in the sport, because you have, and I'm thankful for it, but you have, the Brian Shaws, the Brandon Allens, Larry Wheels, who come into it and are formidable arm wrestlers, and they're getting these great exposure for the sport and for themselves. But it does kind of rub the old guard kind of the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because you see these, and it's the same thing. I often tell people it's like the Jake Paul, Logan Paul effect, right? You have these kids who are YouTube famous getting these multi-million-dollar fights, who there's professional boxers, MMA guys who have done their whole, but at the end of the day, if they're getting eyeballs on the sport, it's a win for everybody. I would say just double down and hire a social media person or get better at that part of it, so you too can reap in the rewards of having a good following and being a prolific fighter or puller.
Yeah. I kind of felt bad for Larry, to be honest, because like when he kind of got thrown to the wolves a little bit, I feel. And you know, when he's coming from his sport where he's at the top and an elite athlete, and then comes into arm wrestling, and like, you know, people are posting videos of them beating him at practice, and you know, I'm like, oh, this guy that's probably not what he's used to, you know.
Oh, I understand that, and I went through the same thing coming into the sport. You come into the sport with name recognition from social media, and you have some strength credentials behind you. Let me tell you, if you get around the wrong people in the sport, and trust me, I found in arm wrestling, and any sport, not just arm wrestling, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of weekend garage gym, armchair, you know, JV level quarterbacks that want to like have their claim to fame, like, hey, I beat that guy.
Yeah.
And fortunately enough, I was able to get around the right people early on in my career to learn how to pull, especially practice pull the right way. But on the flip side of that, something I've known, like, because we do have internet trolls, and I love them. I hate them, but I love them because we need them. So I'll say this, like, someone might, you know, the arm wrestling community might say something about a guy like Larry or Leonidas, you know, some of these other strong people. But at the end of the day, like, and the point I'm making is when, even at my peak in my career, and even now, I'll post like old bench videos. And if I tell people, look, if Larry Wheels is your end all be all, if he's your savior, God, he's your Superman, your number one, and you have to compare me to him to make me look bad, I'm winning. Just like I would tell people, although there's a lot of stylistically things, probably flaws like we all have in Leonidas's game, if it took Devin Larratt to seriously humble him, by all means, Leonidas was still winning, because Devin, if it takes that, like, or even with me, I'm not anywhere near that level yet. But if I constantly get compared, like, well, how would you do against Levon? How would you do against? I'm like, I'm winning, because if you have to bring up the best person in the world right now to diminish anything I'm trying to accomplish, I'm winning for being mentioned in the same paragraph.
Right.
Now, between me and Devin, or me and Levon, there's probably, you know, you go on any chat, there's probably 1,000 people between me and that level. And I accept that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And that's why I'm willing to get in and do the work and pay my dues. And I think that's the difference you're seeing. And I've learned that. And one of my mentors, one of my coaches, shout out to Alpha Empire, Derek Smith.
Yep.
A lot of people come in with the credentials and the accolades. And even when I came in, and you come in at the top level and you have world records and you're king dominant at your sport, it is super humbling to start back at zero. And I've seen, without getting specifically, a lot of people kind of drop off because they can't handle that transition. They can't handle the L's, or their hand spoon fed these not easy, but these very strategic matches, and they're not paying their dues and taking tournament time, or taking L's at practice, or they don't film, or everything's hush hush.
Yeah.
I post all my shit. I post all my losses. It's no mistake. I'm going to take my bumps and bruises. And the thing I tell myself is, just as I'm losing now, people forget 15 years ago, Devin Larratt wasn't a household name. Right. Michael Todd was out there, but he wasn't at the pinnacle top of the top. There was a time when Levon wasn't Levon early on in the sport. So I'll tell people, hey, that's cool if you want to talk shit, or, you know, get your licks in and compare me to 20 years into the sport, 15 years into the sport, Levon. Compare me at what I'm accomplishing now to where Levon was at year 2 or year 3 where I'm at. And then let's have a conversation. But I'm fine with putting in the work, because I know on the trajectory I'm on by year 4, by year 5, by year 6, I will be at that level. I've done it in every sport I've went into, and I don't feel arm wrestling is going to be any different.
Nice.
Yeah. And you definitely do put in the work. See you post a lot of stuff. Like even you said, you'll post the losses, you'll post whatever. You're taking a route that, some of the other well-known guys maybe don't take. You're doing the tournaments, you're grinding in the gym. We know you practice with Derek Smith and those guys. And, you're pretty transparent about all that stuff. So, hats off to you for that.
Yeah. And I think you have to be, especially in this era, like part of my brand, if you will, is I'm going to show you everything, and I'm going to transition. Now that I've transitioned to arm wrestling, I'm going to show the wrist workouts. I'm going to show the grip stuff. I'm going to show how I do my recovery, that you could be, 48, almost 50, have a functionally dad bod from powerlifting, and get health conscious, lean out, get stronger, and make the gain. So I try to, I don't feel I have to reinvent myself. I'm just showing the journey for those interested to follow along and say, hey, look, I put my pants on one leg at a time. I get up, I grind, I hurt, I bleed, I cry, I triumphant. I'm also, I have fails. And if you can relate to that, I'm going to show you that it can be done when there's so many people out there that want to say it can't.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good.
Absolutely.
Plus, that kind of paves the way for guys after you also that may want to transition from a strength sport into this sport. It's important to have, it sucks that some guys try it and then quit, but I think it's important to have guys like you that are not quitting right out of the gate and going about it the right way, and showing the guys after you that it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think a lot of it is just a testament to being committed to the grind and being commitment driven and grind and process driven versus just results. Because I think people come in with the wrong misconceptions. The guys, I'm talking about the transitional guys, the guys that come in from a strength background. And to me, it's just about being honest with yourself. I can be brutally honest with myself. I will be the first person to call myself out and say, hey, you know what? Your cupping sucks. Your endurance sucks. I can acknowledge it, but you bet your ass I'm going to take an L. And to me, it's just a piece of the puzzle that I got to master. If my wrist sucks, okay, I'm going to find everything I can do in the gym to strengthen it. I'm going to also get with someone to show me how to apply this strength and transition it to proper technique and have that win out. There hasn't been a weakness in my game that I haven't been able to self-admit, double down, correct it, and then get laser focus on that. It's easy to stand back, and I think too many people in life in general, they're so quick to stand on their strengths and try to sweep under the rug their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I think arm wrestling, above any other sport I've been a part of, exposes those who are not willing to conquer their weaknesses or conquer their fears.
Yeah.
Like, you could have tremendously strong biceps and think you're going to be a hook puller and just destroy everybody till you face a great top lover or a guy who's 6'5" who doesn't care about your hook. Yeah. So if you can't look yourself in the mirror and be brutally honest with your flaws and then have the guts to work on them until they are flaws no more, you might have, a few wins here or there. It might be recreational, but if you're committed to being the best of the best, it's going to be a long journey. But when you can commit to the journey and not the results, then you're going to be victorious, because I think that's the recipe in anything you do that's strength or athletically based related.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, those are great words of wisdom, man.
Yeah.
And listen, man, speaking about wrists, you are doing some crazy kettlebell lifts.
Oh yeah.
I see you on the table, hitting the I don't remember exactly what you call them, but you're getting the wrist work in with those gigantic kettlebells.
Yeah, that is not easy.
No, it's not. And it's so funny because I don't even know. I'm not one of those. It's because I'll go back and forth. For content purposes, I'll say, oh, it's a world record. But then there's part of me that really wants to look this shit up. So I'm like, okay, I saw Brian do this, I saw Devin do this, and I saw a couple of weeks ago, I went back and forth to these Russians. These Russians are like, no, you must take it seriously. Your elbows must be on the table. And this is what a real world record is. So I go on YouTube. They sent me the YouTube link. So I go on there, and the guy does like 103, which is fucking, by all means, it's a huge feat. If you've ever tried to flip a kettlebell, 103 with your arms on the table and you're using a hard table is a feat. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? It just lit a fire. So I went in the next day to the gym and did everything strict and like repped out 105. And I sent it to him. I was like, okay, here you go. Let's see where this ends up. So right now I'm like 114. I have a 123, but I can't get the I can get the 123 for reps. I can tape weight onto it because I don't have a bigger kettlebell, and I can get like a PR 138. And at the end of the day, I'll say this: it's a gym bro lift. It's not like it's the Olympics or official strongman. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, your wrists have to be fucking strong to be able to pull it off. And my riser was one of my main weaknesses. So I don't have time. And I tell this to Derek and other people who coach me. I said, I'm not the 50 or the 20-year-old guy or the 25-year-old who has 15 years to learn this shit. I'm 48. I got to catch up right now. And so another guy, Pull Heavy, I butcher his last name. He has probably one of the best cupping machines. And I was seeing Artem, I'm seeing Vitali, I'm seeing Paul Lynn, I'm seeing all these prolific guys with great cup and, turn. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to spend a couple grand. I'm going to get it sent over here from Kazakhstan. So I do that every day. It's just not good content.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that machine. That thing's badass.
Oh, it is badass. And that's the only thing I will say, like, my workout, and this is hand to God, every day I'm in the gym for 3 hours. First 40 minutes is cardio. Next hour, 20, hour and a half is I do probably the same 5 to 15 wrist, arm, pulley movements every day. Just every other day I rotate whether I'm going to go maximal or not. Then I'll finish it off with some sauna and some connectivity and some static holds and movement to finish it off. Then I'll go on my first meal. So I'm doing all this at a calorie deficit, fasted, cardio. So I'm completely depleted because I know at the end of the day, this is not a matter of strength. It's a matter of tenacity, endurance, intelligence, table IQ. So I treat it like work 7 days a week. My only day off, I'll do my cardio and I'll do light wrist stuff before I go to 2 or 3 hour practice with Alpha on Sundays, but I don't take any days off.
Yeah.
Nice. That's crazy.
Yeah, you are.
That's awesome.
You're one of those guys that is known for pushing some incredible weight. You earlier you mentioned Denis Saplankov, who you broke his strict curl record. What's that like to break and set records like that? Like, what is that feeling like for you when you accomplish that?
It's bitter. It's bittersweet. Just like what I was just talking about with the kettlebell. You have great intentions and you know what your vision is. My vision isn't to be like the world's greatest strict curler. It was a means to an end transition to something. And just like with bench, so Denis Saplankov, in my opinion, as far if we're talking strict curl in itself, by far the greatest strict curler of all time. He did his on a tougher bar. He did his with a wider angle. I'll make no mistake about it. Just like, I had a lot of pushback from when I first shattered the American record, which was held by CT. And I went through the same debate online when I was doing the bench press. Just like strict curl, just like arm wrestling, because you guys see, or I say you guys, I'm part of that community now. There's a huge difference between the knuckles up versus WAF.
Yeah.
You go to both rules meetings, or if you're prolific in both of those rule setups, you think it's the end all be all. So you probably come from WAF and walk in, that knuckles up, and you're like, what the fuck blasphemy is this? Running fouls. You can bump on the table. However, so the point I'm making is, as a career power lifter, and there's certain lifts that I hold near and dear to me, right? like the bench press world record. However, I'm also savvy to how the internet and different federations work, and I understand that so what I'm saying is I will never fault, like, I can't get mad at a guy, like when people get mad at Dennis for arguing the nuances of and legalities of this and that. Hey, if he's doing everything within what's permitted in that federation, whether it's the setup, the fouls, whatever it is, then he's within his rights to do that. Just like I won't knock another lifter whose bench press was stylistically different from mine because they lifted in a different federation. If you adhere to the rules in your federation and you have 3 judges say it was good, then it was good.
Yeah.
I wanted to just be a shirt curler, right? So when I got in it, I didn't understand the huge discrepancy between this bar and that bar and keeping your head against the wall versus just your butt. Because most federations will only ask you to keep your shoulders and butt against the wall. Some federations, there's like 2 out of 10 that will say your head has to be. So when I did it, I was happy, I was proud. But then came all this online stuff with, well, yours didn't look like Dennis's. I'm like, well, Dennis did his in a different federation. I lifted by my bylaws. He listed his. Even today, it's crazy. I had the same conversation with Paul Lynn, right? Now, I'll troll people on my Instagram. It's part of marketing. It's part of what I do. I started noticing, like, people are telling me, hey, you need more back pressure, right? So I start doing back pressure stuff. And I'm just labeling what the weights are, like 170, 220. And then I go online and I start, I'm doing some research. Well, I want to see stylistically, how should I be doing it? So I come across Army's, and then I see Army's world record, this and this. I start getting all these people attacking me. Well, you're not doing it on I just learned this today. You're not doing it on a crane scale. It doesn't count. You have 2 pulleys. I'm like, the arm wrestling strength community is brutal. I'm like, bro, I'm just measuring my gym and my weights. I'm not saying I'm as strong as, because listen, if I could do 300, but I get destroyed 3-0 to Hermes, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Right.
I can go out there and lose this. It doesn't matter how great my kettlebell shit is if I lose my ass off to Auden. It's all out the window. Just like, so I tell people, like, look, it's my own measurement. It's my own journal. It is what it is. But, man, I'm telling you, the arm wrestling keyboard warrior home gym community, hey, I'm telling you guys right now, if you want to do official lifts, you guys better go get a crane scale.
Yeah.
You are not lying, man.
I didn't even know what it was. I was like, is that crane scale? I'm like, no, it's a fucking pulley system, and I'm doing back pressure.
They get all over the double pulley thing.
I am learning. But hey, shout out to Pool Heavy, his team from Kazakhstan. Phenomenal equipment. There's so many guys out there. Arm Assassins. I mean, I tip my hat off to everybody who's making great equipment. I see your tag. You got TAL. Huge shout out to Billy, everybody out in Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think you got Magic Dragon making art. They've sent me some stuff. There's so many great people who just have great intentions. I don't think they think about all the nuances. Well, I better make this a single setup when I do it because someone online might come unglued.
Yeah. That's a perfect way to say it.
It's so funny how true that is.
It is. Like, I'll see people, like a great example. Look at, I can't even think of his name. I'm drawing a blank. Side pressure king, right?
Todzilla.
Yeah, you'll see Todzilla do stuff with some pretty decent weight.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not it's neither here nor there. He's like, this is what I do. This is how much I use. This is how it works for me. Then you'll see someone, I just did Todzilla style 150. I'm like, Todzilla doesn't even do that much. So are you trying to imply that your side pressure is stronger than Todd's? Because even if the number's higher, you're not going to beat him on the table. And that's what really counts.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny, man. You just got to take it in stride, right?
Oh, you do. I'll say this. My first big time super match. If it was about strength, I should have destroyed Will. But we all know that match didn't go that way. Speaking of, I want my rematch. If you ever see this, Will, quit ducking me. I'll smash you, and I'll stand by that. Just like I'm bringing the pain to Auden and Larry this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's a perfect transition to this card, the Chris Kringle Pool 3. Get cracked. He's in the chat actually.
Yeah.
I'll get cracked. You know what? Let me say this. Shout out to the whole team out there that's putting this together in Cali. Get cracked. All the sponsors, Big Al's, everybody that's been part of this card. It's been nothing but class from the day I was invited to be a part of this card to the people they added at the last minute to the toy drive to the tournament they're putting on. It's all been done on a very just top notch, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to see and watch this grow. And there's some phenomenal matches on this card. I can't wait.
Yeah, if people aren't aware, this card is really good actually. I mean, you got the likes of, LEROY himself going up against Auden Larrett. You have Coach Ray is on the card, also pulling Auden Larrett.
Yeah, Auden's pulling double. Huge hats off. And let me say this about Auden. Although I was talking a little smack, we had a conversation. I can't get into all the details, but we both had a gentleman's agreement. And I will be the first to say I appreciate and I applaud Auden. He's handled this with class. It's no secret, Devin's the king of trolling. Devin's the king of smack talk. I have to pave my way and stay true to what I need to do. Auden is making a huge name for himself. He is not his dad. And so I said, hey, we can build this up because we're both upcoming in the sport. We have a lot of stuff to prove, a lot of eyeballs, hopefully, thankfully are going to be on this match. Let's just do it with class. And this is just me personally. I don't understand the fake internet beefs with people you've never met. Yeah. I'm 40 years old. I'm like, Auden, I respect you. I respect your family, your legacy, your dad, your mom, your brother. I've never met you, so I can't portray that we have this fictitious beef. I don't think that's the way. Although it works in a billion-dollar industry like WWE, hats off to them and the way they handle promotions. I just don't think that's the way what's best for me, for you, for my brand, and for a charity toy drive / event, to go into it. And he totally agreed. We've had some conversations. I can't wait till he's out here in California, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal match, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Card looks really good. John Therian versus Dallas Langston.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. I like that. We got Justin Bishop versus Hunter Knopfs. Another good one.
Yeah, you got Oleg on that card. You got Derek Smith versus Tom Nelson. Yeah. That match has been brewing for a while. If you don't know, Tom is quite a strong inside puller. I just have to say, I think this version of Derek is going to be too strong for him personally. Yeah. No shade towards Tom, but I just think Derek is coming in at a whole nother level right now.
Yeah,
Tom's funny too online. Like he trolls with the best of them.
Oh, Tom cracks me up. The couple times I met him, classy guy, great guy. Yeah. And I'll say this, I can say classy and great guy in the same sense because I've never been on the opposite end of a card or matchup with him. I've pulled him, I think, once or twice in a tournament. Yeah. And he handed me my ass. But as far as the promotional side of it, hey, he gets fired up. He smack talks with the best of them, and that is going to be a North versus South all-out war, and I'm here for it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's Ryan the Bull Bellinger versus Robbie Russell. I like that. That's pretty cool. Artem Taranenko versus Oleg Mosai. I'm not sure how to say his last name. Apologize. Austin Fenley versus Michael Brown.
Yeah, that's I'm interested to see how that match goes because I've pulled Oleg.
Yeah.
And Oleg's endurance is next level. I'm real interested to see how that match goes.
Yeah, very strong guy. Sarah Latona versus Jesse Androvic, which is help me out here, Ryan.
Jesse Androvic, her dad's a coach up here, Mike Androvic.
Mike,
he's been arm wrestling for like 35 years, legend in the sport. So, she's really good.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That's gonna be a really good. I think it's gonna be a match too because Sarah's one of those people that's suspiciously sneaky strong.
Yeah.
I think as watching, when I first got in the sport, I was able to be on one of Todd's cards, and I think Michael Todd's and Sarah pulled, and everybody expected Mrs. Todd to just go through, and she kind of had a different idea, and majority of the people there were team, Monster Factory Camp, so that was kind of I'll just come out and say it because we're all friends. There was a lot of tension in the room after that because nobody really expected it to go that way.
Yeah.
It's like Michael's not thinking and you know what? I'll say this. That was kind of like, it's kind of like you see mom and dad arguing and you want to but you can't leave and be rude and you have to finish Thanksgiving dinner. I saw Michael get flash pinned by Pablo, and that was kind of like, okay, not a lot of people saw that one coming. So, you're like, they're hosting it, but then they take a L. But at the end of the day, they're both great people. Shouts off to the Monster Factory.
Oh yeah. Get Crack says Ryan and Robbie was canceled. I apologize. I'm looking at an old flyer, it appears. But yeah, so this event
hashtag shut up Roy.
What was that?
He was talking to the one guy in our chats named Roy.
Oh, here's a question. How do you guys, because you guys have been in this game and you guys have put on a lot more productions than I have. How do you react, or how do you deal with that, or how, as someone who's emceeing or broadcasting, how do you transition like when the hometown guy just gets smashed? You know what I mean? Because I don't think anybody on that Knuckles Up card. I think all the Jason Merlot, all the hometown guys won, but I could imagine how, say, if Pablo would have beat Barbosa, or that match, how that would have went. Because most of the time you see, or imagine the Shaw Classic if Brandon would have pulled off the upset. That's what I wanted to see as a fan.
I mean, personally, I'd be like, well, Marcio just let us all down. You just let America down. You let our country down. I mean, yeah, that's tough because especially right after a loss like that, like when you have your whole family there and your friends and
dude, tell me about it. Marcio brings I for a second I thought I was in Brazil. I was like, there's a whole different country going on at this super match right now. It was awesome. It was electric.
Intense. Yeah, he had the whole family there. But I mean, that's got to be tough to take a loss in front of your whole family like that.
Yeah.
So as someone that commentates sometimes, I would probably tread lightly. Like I don't want to get my ass kicked by Marcio after the fucking, no, but yeah, I mean, that's a tough thing, I leave it up to the guys we hire to MC to make the call on what they're going to say.
When Marcio won that match, I actually jumped out of my seat and I was cheering for him because, I mean, he just goes crazy. You know what I mean? He jumped up on the table and everything, and his whole family up front.
And it was interesting because I'm pretty close as you can be to some of the people you see idolize it. So for me, I was like, there's part of me that I started holding my bicep watching him and Pablo in that war. I was like, I'm clenching like if my bicep's about to pop.
Yeah. That was fun event, man. And it's cool because Marcio's family always goes out to his stuff and they're always super, super supportive. They're screaming for dad and stuff. So
and his older son's starting to arm wrestle. He's really good.
Yeah.
So I got one for you because you guys have named some pretty good promotions, and I think obviously East versus West is at the top of them. Both of you guys, give me your top. I didn't see that one coming match that say out of the last maybe couple big events that have been put on. One that you just kind of were left stunned as you watch it, because I know which one I'm going to say.
Okay. I got to think a little bit.
Yeah,
so
I know I just flipped it from podcastee to podcaster on you guys.
No, that's good. I like that. It's fun. Let me see here. So I think actually the one that I was excited about, and it kind of threw me back and forth for a loop, was when Sergey Kalyanchenko and Matt Mask pulled in Canada a couple years ago. I'm a huge Matt Mask fan, and his top roll is pretty good. And I thought he was going to win that match, and then Matt goes down early. What was it, 0-3 or 0-2? He comes back to tie it, and they go to the final round, and Sergey wins. And I was like, kind of just crushed as a fan. You know what I mean? So that one was kind of crazy, like the back and forth of it. Just being when you're down 0-2, 0-3, and you fight all the way back to tie it up, and then you lose at the end. And I was Sergey's strong, he's talented, there's no doubt about that, but that one kind of threw me for a loop back and forth. You got anything off the top of your head, Ryan? You're just kind of racking your brain.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think, because like I always mention it in my mind, like, oh, I didn't expect that one, but then to remember it was tough. What's the one you were thinking about?
I was thinking the women's side, the heavyweight. That one,
yeah.
I didn't see flash pins coming in that one.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
That was crazy.
The levels, because on the women's side, you don't like, they don't arm wrestle as much as the guys, so you don't know the different levels, and there's a whole different aspect to the women's side where like some of them don't like each other, so they won't pull each other. Where like guys are like, if they don't like each other, they're like, I want to pull that fucking guy, like
yeah.
So there's a whole different aspect there. So I see a lot of matches where I'm like, man, I did not expect that. So
yeah, and after watching that, I would strongly think that and her name's on the top of my tongue, the one who won, I think she's going to be at the top on both arms for a while, because that was just that was a performance.
Jeremy Parker says nothing is worse than being up 2-0 and then still losing.
Yeah, he just pulled Logan Bittinger down at the Monster Factory 6, and he was up 2-0, and then Logan was able to come back, but it was a hell of a match, and these are two young, talented dudes that I'm hoping we get to see them pull for another 20-30 plus years coming up in the super heavies. So
I can't wait. I'll tell if Jeremy's in it, I tell him I want that left hand.
Oh, there you go, Jeremy. You heard it here.
maybe Winter Blast.
Oh, there you go. That would be cool.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, our Winter Blast tournament is now the biggest in the whole country. So we get a lot of talent that comes out to Winter Blast from all over the country.
Yeah, man. Coming up at the end of March 27th and 28th, 2026.
Actually,
so I see. Is that true? Am I seeing me versus Jeremy?
He says,
Jeremy said he was trying to come to Winter Blast. So if you guys want a match there, we can make that happen.
Well, I'll just I'm like I said, I respect Jeremy. He's a great kid, great puller from what I've seen. Yeah. But Jeremy, if you're in the chat, just know I'm not Saray.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Derek Smith had a match at Winter Blast against Austin Jaggers one year.
Yeah,
and they had a battle of a match.
Yeah. I want to see.
Pulled it off.
I want to see that rematch.
Yeah, me too. Derek went into it thinking it was going to be a different rule set, and then he got there and didn't realize that it was a different rule set, so he wasn't ready for that rule set, and that made all the difference for him.
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. I wouldn't think I think most of the time the rule set, whether it's running fouls, it doesn't make too much. The only one that I noticed caught me off guard, and I say because I don't think I prepped enough from it, was the World Series promotion. The World Series promotion, they put everybody, and I get it for time constraints. They put everybody in a ref grip, but if you really work on mastering and just fucking people over in the setup, then it kind of negates that whole thing, which I've become, pretty good at manipulating, a setup, especially in the strap, but to be put in a ref grip early on, I think it definitely gives a little bit more favor to the higher leverage, or especially so if you're a higher level guy that likes the top roll, I think you're at a slight advantage in the ref script.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, let's talk about your match with Auden. So this is
Auden.
This is super interesting. This is best of 5. Best of 5. Best of 5 left arm.
Look at this guy.
Oh, look at this Auden. Look at this guy.
Dude.
Oh, there you
Choking
go.
poor Ryan.
Just like his dad, same thing, dude. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, best of 5 left arm. And we had Auden on the show. You said I dare you to go inside.
Yeah.
Are you going to take him there? Are you going to take him?
I dare. You know what? We did have we spoke. And both of us are going to be coy. There's going to be a lot of misdirection and misinformation. As the kids or as Trump or somebody would say. There's a lot of there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Fake news.
A lot of fake news. So I think the fake news is that if anybody thinks this match is going to go inside, I would say that from my standpoint, I don't see it going there. I think that would be fake news. I feel this is how I feel the match. If we were both like Pokemon cards and you're listing all our strengths, I think table experience, nod to Auden. I think table IQ, nod to Auden. I think I don't want to say. Let me say this. I don't think setup wise he's tactically better. I think arguing and fucking people mentally that he gets from his dad in his setup, I'm prepared and I'm expecting that part of it. But I would say this. I think if he doesn't get a lot of what he wants in the setup, I think it's going to be a long day for him. I ultimately see it going to the strap. And I've seen his left. I've seen his King's move on the left. It's respectable. I don't think it's stronger than Saray's, who I beat pretty handily. I don't think it's stronger. And that was on the left side, so I think it's comparable. I think I showed a lot of patience and endurance prepping for Brandon Allen, who has a really good King's move, which I also was able to beat and press through. So stylistically, I faced some really good endurance, some really good strength, and some really good King moves. And that's kind of, I don't want to say, a tiger can't change his stripes, but from his left hand, I haven't seen anything to make me think it's going to go otherwise. If people are watching, and I hope this does, because I say this with all due respect, it gets back to Auden. I think, people say styles make matchups and, what are you going to watch? And people ask how you prep. Or back in the old school days, teams, remember high school football, the coach was an escape. They meet at some undisclosed location and exchange game films. And it was all about, every time we took a loss or they gave us the fucked up game film. We didn't have the right game film. So with that being said, there's not a lot of footage to go off of Auden's left. I didn't want to put too much weight into Artem's side pressure that he used to beat him pretty handedly, because Artem does have a next level side pressure at that weight class. The match that I focused on, and this is, the spoiler, this is for you, Auden, if you're watching this, stylistically, the match that I used to break down and said, okay, how am I going to solve this puzzle is I want to attack the same way. I think he's going to get coached up and attacked to attack me and Kings and kind of be patient the same way Devin attacked Corey. That's the match I look at. Stylistically, my left, I pull real similar to Corey. We both have a high level, high hook kind of top roll. We both hit. There's a bigger weight discrepancy between us. So I think a lot of the stuff you saw Devin put on display against Corey West, stylistically, I'm thinking that's probably how Auden was coached up. However, the difference is Auden doesn't have he doesn't have his dad's wrist. He doesn't have his dad's pronation.
Yeah.
So if you don't have those two things to go against someone at that level and that weight discrepancy, and to be able to, it's one thing to have endurance, but to take endurance and constantly take hit after hit after hit with these biceps, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Super
Ray Cody says, LEROY Walker, what up, buddy?
Oh, hey, how you doing? Another great guy. He's a 98 guy, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
Out here on the West Coast. Great guy. Always sharing stuff. Always, paying it forward.
Yeah.
Big charitable guy. I love it when people do stuff that pays it forward for, the kids and the children and stuff out there.
Oh,
yeah. He just joined us, like 6 months ago as a 98 franchise out there for the Southwest region. And
hey, and I'll say this: he promotes the hell out of your guys' organization.
Oh, yeah.
Does it with class. He does it, unfortunately, and I think everybody. This is what I noticed about arm wrestling, and it's especially with Knuckles Up. They plan an event. Someone bigger plans an event. Every time he's invited me to some pretty good events. But I had prior commitments because there's only so many Saturdays and Sundays in a month. And coincidentally, a lot of these, we're lucky to have ours this weekend because East versus West is next weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that. It seemed like every time there was a Knuckles Up, all of a sudden, East versus West next week.
Yeah, that was a certain fellow that used to own the organization would like to, throw events on top of other people's pay-per-views.
But 98, you guys are putting on some good stuff, and I really, I'm not saying it just because I'm on the podcast. There's been a lot of great promotions that I've seen, a lot of stuff going on in Arizona. Unfortunately, I just haven't been able to, get away from some of the obligations I've had.
Thanks for saying that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah.
We have a franchise in New Mexico also, Nathan McAllen.
Yep.
Okay.
He runs New Mexico, and he'll be running an event next year, I believe. We're actually we have 10 franchises now.
Yep.
Across
10.
the country, and we have one in Alberta,
Canada.
9
and one in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to throw tournaments and events all over the country to try to get new people into the sport. We have, all the pro classes and, first timers. And actually, hey, I just thought of something. We had a first timer at one of our events that he had mentioned that he trained with you. His name is Zaire.
Oh my God. You know what? I was watching your guys' podcast because I tune in and I saw you guys had mentioned that. I had gripped up with Zaire and talk about there's what people will call newbie gains or beginner's luck. I'm pretty sure, as you guys were saying, and I could imagine from when I gripped up, that dude's top roll is just smashes through people. And here's the crazy part. Let me add some caveat to this story, or spill the tea, as the kids say. I was like, bro, have you got into arm wrestling? He's like, well, I've been thinking about it. I was like, how the hell did you get? I just watched a lot of YouTube. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Nope, I just watch you. I watch a lot of YouTube. I break it down. Then I go to the gym. And I was like, well, I hope you don't fucking sit here and analyze a lot of Devin's or fucking Levon's YouTube, because you'll be at that. The guy is so unbelievably strong.
Dude, he went through everybody like they weren't even there. Just whap.
And here, and I'll say this. Let me give this guy his flowers. And you guys will know that. And I had to learn this the hard way. There's a difference between coming in being transitionally powerlifting strong and his strength, because most powerlifters will come in or are a strongman, and first thing they'll do is they'll try to overgrip in the setup, like as if you can Captain Crush someone to victory in the setup. He didn't do none of that. This guy would come in, not load, and before you know it, he's just on top of you. Like, what the? I'm like, there's no way this guy's never, because it just was so fluid for being someone that's coming from a strength background. There was no load, no over gripping, no holding on, no chasing. I was like, this guy, and I remember we were gripping up, and I was like, hey, you got to go over to the high five table. You got to, and he's from Jersey. I was like, you guys. I was like, hey, get this guy on the table.
Yeah,
dude,
he's a monster, dude.
He came to both of our tournaments in New Jersey. He came to the first timers because it was his first official tournament. Smashed everybody. I think both left and right. I think right.
Yeah,
I think he won both gold medals for left and right. He comes back to our next tournament about a month and a half later in the amateurs, right?
Yeah,
I believe it was amateurs. Smashed everybody again.
I'm like, dude, you gotta go. He's gonna be in pro in no time, dude.
And he's a super nice guy. He's super cool. His family was there with him. His wife, who was actually
a real good power lifter.
She's a record holder power lifter.
Yeah, his wife's phenomenal strict curler, phenomenal bench presser.
Yeah,
I think, and this is the same thing you see in powerlifting. A lot of people will be so quick. Well, he's not going to beat this, and that. Well, like if you got to start comparing him to high level people, then he's already winning. I would think your average tournament, because most elite pullers don't go to like local stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. I mean, I get it, but I wish there was more of. You know, but I would say your average tournament, he would probably go and place top 3.
Oh, yeah.
Very good, dude.
Yeah,
he looks good on the table too.
Yeah,
like he doesn't look like a fish out of water. You know what I mean? He looks good on the table. We hope to see him again. In our next tournament, hopefully he comes out. But yeah, super impressive dude. And he was, he mentioned that he did a little training with you and stuff. So yeah, very cool. We could tie that all up here,
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Hey, he's a beast. And here's the scary part. Let him get on the table and get coached up, learn some how to, because he's out there setting up with just watching YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He reached out to Sean Latimer, and he's going to start, I think he's going to start coming to practice, and he's getting some bench coaching from Sean.
There you go. Yeah, Sean.
So that's
Sean
interesting.
Was a great bencher.
Yeah. Ray Cody said, I met LEROY through my 7-year-old grandson who follows him. He was so excited to meet LEROY at the expo. LEROY gave him a shirt and an autograph and took a selfie with him. This is what arm wrestling needs. He is a good guy.
Absolutely. Oh, thanks. Gonna make me cheer up.
Yeah, man. That's beautiful. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. No, I think that's what all sports need. I think people need people to come in from other sports or give a different, breathe. Not saying arm wrestling needs life breathe into it, but just some different perspectives, some different backgrounds, and then pay it forward. Like I told the guys at this tournament, I said, hey, no matter how, and I'm not saying this in a cocky way, no matter how big I get, I'm still going to pay it forward. Like till this day, I'll still go back at the Arnold, and I'm thankful, to stop by the high five. I'm one of those guys. I'm never going to forget where I came from. I'm never going to be, because I see a lot of that going on where people will dispute stuff back and forth. Like, oh, I'm not showing up unless I get this and that paid for, or it's going to cost X amount of money. And trust me, I get it, because for me to miss a weekend of my business, I'm, at certain point, the dollars have to make sense. But just to blatantly, I feel this, whenever I cannot, if I don't have to make like me losing money the issue, you know what I mean, then I'm definitely going to try to participate in people who want to do, if I believe in the promotion. But there's sometimes when I also have to put my family first and say, do I really need to spend a couple grand, to go out there to pull in this event when there's not a lot on the line, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's got to make sense in that way.
Yeah. But the local meets, I love doing. I'll do all the local stuff I can. I think more people need to pull and support their local meets, their local tournaments and stuff, and help, pay, like you guys said, pave the way for the kids and the people trying to come behind them, because a lot of people don't realize how much it costs to put on these events. If it was a matter of the arm wrestling fees to pay for the promotional side of it, you guys got venue costs, you got filming, camera, all these hidden costs that the general public isn't privy to.
Dude, it's so good to hear you say that, because people think like, oh, Winter Blast is so big, you guys must get so rich off that. And I'm like, dude, like our biggest year, we had 585 entries, and everyone was like, oh, you guys made all this money. I'm like, dude, the venue was like 20 grand for the whole fucking weekend, you know?
Yeah. And that goes going back to what you were talking earlier is the flip side of why certain arm wrestlers need to understand, like, yes, it's one thing to pay your dues and to earn the right to be in events, but at the same time, I've been on the business side of it. You do sometimes need, the Larry Wheels, the Brian Shaws to help put it out there so it's getting out there in the algorithm. So people are reminded, buy the t-shirts, don't beg, borrow, and steal to get free passes to the event. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem dropping some money in the chat. I had no problem buying the pay-per-view to watch like Monster Factory, to watch some of these other smaller ones, because at the end of the day, like, don't bitch about the money and the lack of funding in the sport if you don't give back to the sport that you're bitching about.
Right. Yeah. That's how I look at it. I'm like, man, sometimes I go to someone's tournament and I don't even compete, but I'll buy an entry and just tell them to give it to someone, or, things like that, or we try to give away a free table at Winter Blast. Like, we try to give back to the community because there is a lack of support here and there. Not everybody, but, some people act like it's too much to ask to buy a t-shirt or, whatever, or they all want free entries. And it's like, well, man, if we gave everybody free entry, like, we wouldn't even be able to afford to do this event. So,
it's weird because I just had this conversation with my lady the other day, because I actually, she looked at me kind of funny when I said, I just text the promoter because I got, the itinerary came through and it's like, meet and greet, dinner, and it said athlete dinner. And I know right away what it meant. So I was like, hey, there's this athlete dinner. I'm going to see if it's athlete only or athlete plus one. And she goes, well, aren't most things plus one? I said, hold on. I go, if there's 20 matches on the card, that's 40 people. I go, that means it'd be 80 people. I don't think every promotion's equipped to pay for dinner for 8. So I look at stuff like that versus other people are just kind of like, oh, well, of course it's a plus one. I'm like, no, not all the time. Because I've been to events, where it's not. The athlete dinner is that it is what it is. It's the athlete dinner. I would like to make it a plus one, but I also understand, like I said, I understand the promotional side of it.
Yeah.
If we had the money, there's so much more we would do for the sport, but we just don't always have it, so we can only do what we have budgeted, as far as like medals, awards, we try to do the best we can every year, but it gets expensive really quick with these events.
It does. A lot of
people don't realize it, and they think we're making all this money. And honestly, most of us here at 98, where we are, we don't even pay ourselves. We just keep it rolling into the next one. And we just, we don't take any money from it personally or anything like that. Not saying that that's, some guys pay themselves. I'm not saying that that's wrong or anything, but us personally, we're still trying to grow our brand. So we don't look at it as a loss. We look at it as, we're just still growing our brand and trying to get out there.
And I tip my hat to you. I think you guys are, without it being said, are kind of sometimes in this sport, I've noticed, are kind of the unsung heroes. Because I've been to so many practices. I started off with Austin Arm Wrestlers. I started off with Austin. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the guys down there that hosted, Dennis, or not Dennis, but Devin and everybody when they were in Texas. Great.
Alejandro.
Alejandro, great guy. Huge shout out to Alejandro. So many people hold these practices, and our coaches / mentors, Derek, and they don't take a team fee. They don't take any dues. And I would support it. I was like, if you want to get people more serious, I think some of these clubs probably need to charge dues, so you don't get the guys that are half foot in, half foot out. Because like I tell Derek, I don't know how you do it all the time. Coach is free, has all these people over to his place every single weekend, rain or shine. Except like in California, we have, it's called Arm Fest. Every like first Sunday of the month, everybody meets at this brewery. It's like an all teams practice. Other than that, doesn't matter. Holiday, no holiday. Derek is having practice on Sunday. And then I see people sometimes scoff at this, and I'm like, the guy doesn't charge. He gives you free coaching, you know, and that for someone at his level to do as much as he does for so many people in Southern California, I really take my hats off to him. And I know, like, you guys hold mega practices, you guys are getting people coached up or gripping up with, you know, high level people, and people understand so many of these guys probably have better stuff to do, but they pay it forward and they make time to bring everybody up. And I think that's why so many people love the arm wrestling community, because for the most part, most people take care of their own. And so it's kind of sad to see that we have to reiterate things like this, like, hey, support your local tournament, support your local promoters, because you guys are in love with the free practice and love with the free coaching. But when it comes time for it all come together in these events, you need to be more supportive.
Oh, I agree. You know, and that's kind of why we came up with the 98 concept. You probably know, but, you know, we got the 2%ers that are like your Devins and your John Brzezinks, and then the rest of us are the other 98% trying to get there. And when I first started, a lot of the tournaments around here were open only. So I would jump in and some of the guys at practice, and we would get smoked by these pros. So we were like, man, why don't we start something that's more for like the average puller instead of just like the top pros? So we kind of came up with the 98 concept, and then we started throwing tournaments, and like we had a mass load of people come because there's more 98 percenters than there are 2%ers. So like it just blew up really quick. And then Winter Blast became the biggest tournament in the country. Yeah. Because so many people feel comfortable coming to our stuff now, rather than like tournaments that are only for like the elite guys.
Yeah, and it's growing and growing. You guys have tremendous motion and involvement with that. It's awesome to see.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool that it took off like that. We're kind of surprised, you know.
The fun part too is, like, you know, while Ryan said, like, you know, most of us don't take any money from the events or anything like that, but like, it's a lot of fun to get together and like throw a tournament and meet new people from, you know, all over. Like, we'll go around and just be like, if we see a new face, we'll shake their hand, be like, hey, what's your name? You know, how'd you find out about us and the sport? And like, that's how we met Zaire. Like, I walked up to him, I was like, hey, what's up, man? Like, because I didn't recognize him, and just started talking. And, you know, here to come find out he's a monster, you know, at the first timers. And speaking of the first timers, we had 50 entries for first timers at that event.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything about the growth of the sport. But it's fun. Like, every community is going to have your assholes or the people, you know, that are jerks. But all in all, the majority of the community is really cool and supportive and open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun to hang out, and, you know, that's why I don't really worry about the money right now. You know, it's just
But you guys got good marketing. You got a hot logo. It kind of takes care of itself, and I say you guys have kind of opened the door, and that's the one thing I notice about coming from the power side of it. When I go to something like, when I go to the Arnold Classic, I think, like, for me, it was almost easy to bow out of strict curl and the powerlifting side of it, because that's the one thing I think that has kind of killed strength sports, and we even see this in strongman, the decline of too many people worrying about which federation is going to oversee this or which rule set do we go by. And I think you guys have kept it pretty straight up and down and pretty fair moving forward. Like, we're not going to alienate this group. We're not going to do that. We're going to go with common sense ruling that makes sense. And then the promotional side of it just takes over. And then you'll see some people that are so enamored with their federation. It has to be this, and we're the only one that counts. And I think, in my honest opinion, I think that was kind of why arm wrestling was on the decline at the Arnold, because I knew there was everybody that wasn't a hardcore puller knew there was arm wrestling there, but the federation who oversee it never really, in my opinion, did a great job of promoting it. The only reason I knew that, the only match I ever saw that was really well promoted was the Marcio Pavlo match, and that's because I knew who both of those people were. But other than that, it was just whispers. Nobody knew when, nobody knew who was pulling. It was so not promoted in a good way. And so for me, when I was going to go back the next year, and when I went by And I think that's why you guys have captured it, because you've put the promotional side of it. You've done a great job with it, and you've put it in the hands of the people. And I would say that's the one thing that I don't think powerlifting did a good job of. Powerlifting always wanted to make the federation bigger than the lifter and never promote the lifter, but rely on the lifters to self-promote the events. And that's why I don't think other federations really, this is my opinion, lasted at the Arnold, because I was like, hold on a second. Shout out to Camille. I can show up and stage an event and practice pull on the table with Camille and get more likes and views and publicity than if I were to win a medal in this shirt curl contest at the Arnold. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I'm going back to the high five booth, getting on, an after pool table and making content.
Right.
And you guys have kind of went with the same model. Hey, we're going to let people do after pulls. We're going to let people promote this, create these, environments that are both content user friendly and still true to arm wrestling without making a mockery of it.
Yeah.
And it's really paid off in your guys' promotions.
That's what we focus on, is promotion. Like, I mean, we had even East versus West reached out to us, and they were like, man, we see 98 everywhere. And they were like impressed with what we did. And that felt good to have like a big organization like that tell us that we're promoting well. So that was pretty cool. But I think the main thing we did that was the smartest thing is we made a 98 group for every state in the whole country.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that was, say I'm throwing a tournament in, New Hampshire. Now I can target the people that are most likely to come to that tournament by posting in the New Hampshire group, the Maine group, the Massachusetts group, the Vermont group, where before there were these massive groups with like 40,000 people in it, but you post your flyer in there, you don't know who's seeing it or if they even live near you. And now you can really target the demographic of people that are most likely to come to your event. And we did that as a tool for all promotions to use. And not everybody has like grasped that that's like an important tool. And it gives you like a lot of feedback on like what areas of the country are busy, where tournaments would work best, like all kinds of info. And I'm hoping other promoters start to use those groups as a tool for their own promotions for posting about their events to get it out there.
Yeah.
But it's worked for us big time.
It does. And the other thing I would say that works really well is you guys because I don't want to put people on blast, but you guys are very user friendly. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you there's another promotion out there. I kind of mentioned it that does kind of the same thing. They'll have kind of these regional events. Mm-hmm. However, they don't allow filming because they want the end all be all to be the pay-per-view.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like if a forest falls and there's no one, I actually true story, almost everybody qualifies, so I'm not trying to make for people watching, everybody for certain promotions, if you step foot on the table, you qualify for their finals, right? So let me not make it more than what it is. But I feel I would have done decent, right? But I was like, two things, and this is how, and you got at some point when you start to get higher levels, you got to think about this stuff. At least I do. So I said, from a business standpoint, even if I were to place in the top 4 or 5, or you get lucky and end up in the finals, I'm either pulling Cody or Corey. Right. And even if I have a good showing against Cody or Corey, the viewers and people know, if you know, you know.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter because I'm not going to have the rights to the footage.
Right.
I'm not going to have the right to some of these awesome, and that's the biggest complaint from a competitor that I've heard. Nothing against the organization itself, except for this thing that I'm bitching about. It's like, if you have your regional events and you want it to be promoted and you need the lifter to promote it, give them access to the footage. Because by the time the finals happen, by the time it makes it to its screen debut, It's 6 months to a year later, and people are like,
nobody
"Oh,
cares.
that's right. So and so beat so and so way back at this regional."
Because
nowadays, guys like, and you guys know this from the business side or promotional side, if you can't watch the replay or watch the footage of who this up and coming guy, like, great example, Camille blew up because Camille was able to take his footage and put it out there. Everybody knew Camille had beat Dave Chafee, and other people had got really good bounce back from having the rights to the footage. But some of the, or one in particular, is like, nope, we're not going to let anybody film. We're not going to let anybody promote it. And then when you yourself as an organization doesn't have the algorithm is real simple. You have X amount of people, you have X amount of reach. If you don't organizationally have 100,000+ followers, your reach is not that big. Right. So at some point you have to acknowledge that you need the people from within, the pullers, to be able to promote this. How do you I can post a picture all day of an event. People don't give two fucks. People want to see the match footage.
Yeah.
So I say that to other promotions or up and coming promotions. If you sell the rights to pay-per-view, I get that, right? But if you don't have something like that, let people film, let people showcase them pulling and help you promote your brand.
Yeah, it's like free promotion. Like, everyone's promoting us. I'm like, I'm not going to stop them. They're doing a lot of work for us for free by promoting themselves and us. Like, it's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I like the people who put it on. I have no problem with Don, but let me ask you, and you guys may or may not have seen it, but who's won the left and right hand the last 3 years? I bet almost this many people seen the footage of it.
Right? Yeah.
And I was there for some of them. They were great matches.
Yeah,
you know?
I've never watched a second of it.
Well,
Corey gets a lot of. He should get a lot more recognition for some of he put. Corey had some awesome matches, and it's almost like it didn't happen because nobody has footage. There's so many people that were part of that promotion that don't have. Nobody knows it happened.
Yeah, dude. And not to bring up this again, but they had a problem with someone we teamed up with. Arm Gods made a funny meme about Greg Sharp. And then Greg did a fucking press release and said, anybody who goes to Winter Blast is banned from my promotion. And I was like, dude.
We can talk because you guys went. I was trying to tread lightly.
Yeah, I don't give a shit, man. It
was like death by 100 paper cuts, and then you guys just rip off the whole band.
Yeah, we don't give a shit. But that to me was the dumbest business decision someone could ever make, where you're banning people from the largest tournament in the country to come to your own promote. Like, he banned people from his own promotion. I was like, that is insane to me that you would do that over a fucking meme that wasn't even insulting in any way.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, I've had my dealings. To me, he's been on the up and up, and I don't feel bad for sharing this because I shared it with him just as I shared it with Don. He has way more say than Don does. Don Underwood, brilliant guy. He's taught me a lot, legend in the game. But unfortunately, I was like, hey, if you're not, and I even said, like, look, I get what you're doing, but I don't want to wait till this is on Tubi. I could give two shits. I need this for my own promotion. I need to be able to send this to other people's promotion. The only thing that I didn't like is I remember I was trying to ask, like, hey, I don't want special treatment, but is there any other regionals you're going to have? Because I can't make the closest to me in particular, because I think it's because I had a super match. He's like, oh, well, and I said, and I'm old school. If I sign a contract with someone's promotion, and some people and most people don't know, some people will put in the promotional contract, if it's null and void, you're null and void any of your rights or your promotional fees paid to you if you injure yourself in a promotion prior. So I'm the type of guy that understands the legalities of it. So even if it's not in my contract, I'm still going to operate and act as if. So when I told him this, I was like, you know what? It's cut it a couple months before another promotion. I've already signed a contract. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I've never heard of a promoter keeping someone out of another promotion. And then I was like, well, I get what you're saying, but I'm not going to. And for that same reason, I didn't go to the finals this year because I waited out. I was like, I'll have the rights to my footage. To me, I'm pulling a pretty big name in Auden. And to me, business-wise, it makes so much more sense to have 100% of the rights, win or lose against Auden, than it does to maybe make top 3 or face, a match against Corey or Cody, who I'm not even going to have any video footage of.
Yeah. And Ray just said Tubi took him off anyway because no one watched it. So you're waiting for Tubi for what, dude?
Probably be like we said, the chicken and egg. There was no promotion going into it.
Yeah. Like I have no problem with Don at all because I know it wasn't his call. He wasn't even involved with the promotion when that happened.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoyed me is that as soon as Greg realized that it was affecting his own turnout, he dropped the bans and was like, oh, now it doesn't matter if you're banned or not, you can still come. And I'm like, so basically you did the ban so it would affect our event, but then as soon as it's affecting you, now the ban doesn't matter as much. And I was like, dude, that was kind of, but it didn't really affect us anyway because we still had 500 entries, anyway. So, but still, it was just annoying, like to see someone come out like that. It was just weird.
And that's the one thing I don't understand. And maybe you guys have more insight to this because you've been doing it longer. I don't understand why the East versus West, why let's just call them the Gregs. I don't know why the Ingans and the Gregs of the world do that because you're only penalizing your audience base from seeing matches that they want to buy to support your product.
Yep.
Dude, that was my main thing. Like, so, imagine you pull for East versus West. Now you go to Knuckles Up. Now you're getting a whole new fan base of people that are following you. And then when you go back to East versus West, you're bringing more people that are watching their promotion now because you gained a bunch of fans at Knuckles Up.
Yes, and that's what I don't. And like Ingrid and all these people, like you guys have pulled, you understand. Like if I'm, I don't even know what the qualifications really are.
Yeah.
Of being a professional, but if I'm on the pulling circuit and I need the promotion, if I pull in this one, I'm still gonna pull in that one because I need multiple events to earn my income from. So I never understand what the whole fixation was with bands and this and that. I think it's just and unfortunately you see this in WWE, you see this in UFC. I think it's the people in the Cush offices who've never really grinded it out, that don't understand what it is to be an athlete or to earn from the athlete side.
Yeah.
I just don't. I have a problem with people who make decisions that they don't ultimately have to live with the consequences.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean?
A good point.
And I think it's unfortunate. Like I said, it only really penalizes the athlete and the fans. It doesn't really penalize the organization.
Right.
I think also some of the bands with like WAF and some other organizations, a lot of that is starting to get walked back. Like we recently seen Jordan Sonev. He's going to be pulling at East versus West in Atlantic City.
Greg Sharp.
He's going to be pulling in Atlantic City, and he was on the WAF band list for a while. Several Bulgarians were, and I think they're working on getting Svetan Gashevsky off the ban list also, who is like a legendary arm wrestler.
Yeah.
The dude is like fucking incredible to watch. We got to see him a couple times at Knuckles Up. So like I'm hoping that all this banning stuff, is starting to get walked back, and we're gonna give the fans the matches, like you said, Leroy, that we want to pay for and want to see.
Yeah.
So
it's sad to see one promotion try to stop another promotion, or some promoters will flat out tell other people not to go to another promoter's events. And I'm like, and that all has to stop. Like if we all help lift each other up, the whole sport's going to grow. There's no reason to tell someone not to go to someone else's event. And honestly, most people are going to go to the events that are convenient for them anyway. You know,
exactly,
like in your
exactly.
backyard,
And that's why,
you're gonna go.
if it was me, I would get together with another promotion and say, hey, you know what? We might not fundamentally see eye to eye, but when's your couple events? I'll plan around it because I want my events to hit. You know what I mean? Instead of like, oh, you're having one here, let me double down on the same fucking day.
That happens to us all the time. Like, we throw an event, and then all of a sudden, someone that doesn't like 98 is throwing one the week before and trying to. I'm like, why would you do that? You know. But again, at the end of the day, people go where they want to go, and we focus a lot on the quality of our events, and I think people know that. So if they want good awards and they want a tournament that's running smooth, they know where to go, and that's what we try to focus on, you know.
Yeah.
But man, it is annoying when people try to throw shit on top of your event. And you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like, we actually were going to throw an event the same day as this East versus West coming up.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Dexter because there was whispers that they were going to throw an event in Atlantic City that weekend. And I was like, hey, I just want to confirm that, you know, we don't want to throw an event on top of yours because no one's going to come to our event if East versus West is in town. And we want to go to East versus West too. Like we're fans of the sport. Even though we're for the 98%, we love the sport top to bottom, from the first timers to the ultra elite guys. You know what I mean? So we were like, all right, we'll just do it like a month or so later. We'll just throw it, you know. But it's easy to work with people if you're like, hey, are you guys throwing an event here? Like, if you just have that open communication, like there's no problems, you know.
Now, I want to throw this out there, a marketing ploy. I want you guys to do a T-shirt. Like I want like a big 98 emblem on the front, and then this is just me. I want Walker on the back, but on the bottom, because maybe, I don't know if you guys did this on purpose. Maybe this is some subliminal stuff, but I'm sitting here staring at the screen, and it keeps resonating with me. You're like 98 percenters, 98 percenters, and so the first thing that I think of being in Cali is I'm just like, man, this feels like some fucking Mongols MC, like Sons of Anarchy stuff. I was like,
knew you were going there.
So you guys should make these like rockers, like on the back of a T-shirt that says like, California chapter, New Jersey chapter, and like with that colorway, like I feel like some Sons of Anarchy stuff. I feel like, hey, let me be part of the California chapter.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. We could make something like that for you. We could send it out to you.
Yeah.
No problem.
Sure.
I think every state should get its own rocker, like New Jersey, California. You know what I mean? Like these badass black and white T-shirts.
When I made the Facebook pages in every state, people were asking, like, are you going to have like T-shirts made for each state? So it's been in my mind to do that for a little while now.
When I helped design, two major wraps. I helped design the Ghost Wraps. They sold off the company, but my first company I worked with was Tough Wraps. Our number one selling T-shirt was this shirt that said villains, right? There was villain wraps, and it said villains with the fucking My Fist logo. I should have copyrighted that. But anyways, at the time, Sons of Anarchy was hot, so we did this black and white, and it said villains, just like the center ants. Number one selling, still the number one selling T-shirt for that company till this day.
That's
and
awesome.
so I'm sitting here looking at this album. I'm like, this looks like some MC stuff if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, all of our franchises have their own custom logo too. And we actually on our new website 98arms.com.
Yeah.
Each franchise has their own section on our website for merch, so you can order T-shirts, hats, all different types of merch, sweatshirts, hoodies, and they all have like their own logos on them. And we have like multiple designs for each franchise, and they get like kickbacks from the sales for that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, if you go to 98 Arms, there's all types of merch up there.
Dude, I can see a whole campaign, a big ass rocker on like that emblem on the front, and then 99 reasons or 98 reasons.
Yeah.
Why I might lose, but a hook ain't one. A top roll ain't one. Like,
there you go. Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Like a whole of 98 reasons, but a hook ain't one, a top roll ain't one.
I like that 98 reasons. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys heard it here first.
We're always making designs and stuff.
And the coolest part about our concept is that like the whole community has like adopted that the 2%ers are like, even Devin will be like, oh, he's a 2%er. You know, like everyone has adopted that the top elites are the 2%ers and the rest of us are 98%. Like people use that as like a common term now in arm wrestling. And I think that's really cool.
That could be another shirt. You could have for your people on the clubs that have earned it, you know, who've got super match pay-per-view status, like 2%er and then 98 degree on the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
like
sick.
a rite of passage.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, listen, man, we're running up on an hour and a half here, but let's get a little promotion here for the Kris Kringle Pool Get Cracked. It's this Sunday, December 7th in Ontario, California.
Yeah.
Get your pay-per-view. The Drew actually posted the link for the pay-per-view a little bit earlier in our chat.
I'll pull it up.
Was it $15? I think it was. He posted
it's
the
like
link
50.
up
You can
early.
get it on. I think all VIPs are sold out. They still have, I think, gold status.
Yes.
So, you know, get ready. Put the women and children to bed. Get ready to see me pull Auden a full match of professional people. I'm going in. I didn't want to put this out there. I didn't want to be braggadocious. That's the word of the day. But I am 98-1 against women. I'm 64-3 against third graders, and I'm about 8-52 against guys who actually know how to arm wrestle. So if you hate me, buy the pay-per-view, root for Auden. If you like me, root for me, buy the pay-per-view. If you have, I mean, it's on a Sunday too. I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna watch the NFL? Boring.
Well, I'm rooting for you because you've never tried to choke me. So
that's right. Hey, I'm like I said, I'm. What is that? 43-3 against children. So hopefully it's 44 because Auden is a child.
Yeah.
I mean, for our age group, he's definitely a child.
Yeah. I mean, what if I win and he gets pissed off and say, take if he has to call his daddy to handle me, I'm still winning.
Yeah.
You know? If the great Devin gets mad that I beat his son, I'm still winning.
Yeah, go to getcracked.net. You can check out all the stuff there. They have a link to buy the pay-per-view. And a little interesting thing here is if you buy it on your desktop, it's $14.99. If you buy it on iOS or Android devices, it's $20. So if you got a desktop computer, a laptop, buy it there, save yourself $5. It's coming up in 3 days, 15 hours. They got a little countdown timer there.
Nice.
But go support awesome arm wrestling events like this. The card is freaking stacked. And,
enjoy adult. Are you guys fans of adult beverages?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, real quick. Auden did a post about how he's so fast and so much faster than me and Coach Ray. So, bless my heart, I went on his page and I left free of charge, an adult beverage cocktail. I said, this is the hottest cocktail of the season. It's called the Canadian Delusional. All right. It's 4 ounces Crown Royale, 4 ounces Canadian Club, 4 ounces Club Canadian whiskey, half an ounce of maple syrup. And if you want to get spicy, add some crack. Because I was like, for Auden to think that he's going to beat me and Coach Ray, he must be drinking some Canadian Delusional. That's the recipe right there. Get it in stores. Buy it this Christmas. Wash it down with some eggnog. Eat it with some pancakes. You heard it here first. You guys It has been a blast being on this podcast. I can't wait. I'm so stoked. I wish the Ready Go was right now.
Hell yeah, man.
Auden might top it off with some semen.
You know what we do? We do have a bet. So stay tuned. I want to come back. I want to come back on the podcast after the victory. And I want you to invite Auden because we do have a wager. The loser has to drink, because Auden's made this kind of famous. He does this, what the fuck's in this shake?
Oh, yeah.
So I said the loser has to drink a shake of the other person's making.
Oh, dude. Dude, that would be awesome to do that live.
It's going to be some nasty shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to Skid Row and I'm getting some samples of some stains. Auden's going to have a whole. He might end up with hepatitis after his drink. he might have to wash down a Canadian club just to clean up the hepatitis.
He gets STDs from a drink.
Yeah, man, we'll definitely have you back on, dude. It's been awesome.
Yeah, we'll play a game. Who's in my mouth?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's about. This is probably the most trash talk I've done. It's all fun and games. Huge shout out to the Lats. Huge shout out to you guys. You guys, after this, go to your guys' website and buy a T-shirt. Buy two. Buy someone for the cousin at the Christmas gathering that you're not gonna like, or Hanukkah. Or depending on which part of the country, and maybe it's Kwanzaa. Yeah. I'm all denominationals in my holiday cheer giving. Buy a T-shirt, support these guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. And likewise to you. Everybody go subscribe to all your social media stuff.
Yeah, the machine.
Check it out. Good content. Yeah, crazy machines for arm wrestling that you got are awesome. Dude, I was like looking them up after I saw them on yours. I'm like looking them up, trying to find like, what machine is this?
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're in the gym and you're hot, go check out my OnlyFans page.
There we go.
There you go.
It's just pictures of feet.
Thank you guys so much. I will. Do you need me to stay on and we talk about stuff afterwards, or are we just logging off here?
Whatever you prefer.
If you want to hang out for a
minute, I'll end it and we'll hang out for a sec.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Right. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you guys.
98.